Well, prepare yourself, guys. We have a lot of shocking news today. We're going to give honor to the Green Ranger. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on at Disney. And I'm going to run down some of the movies that we saw this week right here on the Rundown. Entertainment news by fans for fans. And prepare yourself again, once again, guys. Welcome to another episode, a special episode of the Rundown. I usually do not stream on a Sunday night, especially this late. I have a lot of things to do. But since there was no show this past Thursday because somebody out there just was like, I got, other obligations to do. I'll shout out to Tabitha out there. I just thought, you know what, with all the crap that's been going down lately, I was like, let me just do a quick little show before we head off into the holidays and talk about it. But so if you guys are watching and if you want to contribute, if you want to comment and talk about what we're going to talk about today, because like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the latest crazy news that's been happening this week. Hit the subscribe button and you can chat with me right here on the live chats because I want to hear what you guys are saying about everything. But we're going to try to go through this quick. I always say let's do a tight 30, but this time I'm serious because I'm tired and I got to go to bed. But let's get right into the rundown real fast. So before I get started, there was something that happened right before the show started that delayed me. I was supposed to start about 30 minutes ago, but then all hell broke loose. Let me pull it up right here. So this just happened within a few minutes. Deadline is reporting that after less than a year in retirement, Bob Iger has returned as CEO of Walt Disney. This is something that people were kind of speculating on it with. It wasn't a secret that former CEO Bob Iger was regretting his decision of making championing Bob Chapek, Bob versus Bob. After the whole, let's go by a little bit about what kind of went down after Bob Chapek took over. The S show. I'm gonna try to censor myself because I got kids in the house and they're sleeping, and if they wake up, I don't want them to hear what I'm saying and tell on me. With what Bob Chapek did with Scarlett Johansson, the lawsuit with that, the debacle with Walt Disney World, the theme parks and everything, and then just gutting Disney with bad decision after bad decision. Like you know what was going on during the pandemic with when the pandemic was starting to kind of really kind of get I'm not going to say better, but when things were starting to open up, the decisions of making certain movies that everybody felt should have gone to theaters instead of he was pushing Disney Plus. There's all these decisions that Bob Iger just would not have made. And it was like, what else can this guy do to make things a little bit worse? Then we found out, the Marvel fans found out that he was tying the hands of Kevin Feige. Like, after all the work and the money that Kevin Feige has made for Disney and for Marvel Studios, I mean, he's worked his way out of having people over him tying his hands creatively is the best way I'm going to say it. Just to have Chapek come out of nowhere to put it all back in place again, put his yes men back in place and mess it all up. So let me read a little bit about what's going on here. The board just sent out a notice to Bob I is back and recently re-upped Bob Chapek is out. I am deeply honored to be asked to again lead this remarkable team with a clear mission indicating that somebody did not have a clear mission, focused on creative excellence to inspire generations through unrivaled, bold storytelling, said Iger tonight. Dang. I mean, that's right there off the bat. That's shots fired right there off the bat. I mean, having handed over the baton as CEO in February 2020 to Chapek, a stunning move unto itself at the time, and then serving as executive chairman until the end of 2021, Iger will be CEO for a second time for the next 2 years, the company says. Iger had previously been top dog at the House of Mouse from 2005 for 15 years, the final stage of what would be a 47-year run at Disney. The board has concluded that as Disney embarked on an increasingly complex period of industrial transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through the pivotal periods, said board chairman Susan Arnold in official announcement. So you can read that below. Just a couple of weeks after the rougher than expected quarterly earnings report. So this is all about money. I mean, that was the excuse that they probably really gave to really just get him out of there. You lost too much money. You got too much ill will coming on. You got too much of your yes men in there. If I remember correctly, there was a person who was recently let go from Disney who he probably felt threatened by. I can't remember the man's name. That could have probably taken over, and for Bob Iger to not have to come back. But this is to me this is good news because for the fans have and all, I mean, Pixar alone, all the crazy decisions that he was making with Pixar, with Marvel, with the theme park. I mean, there was just a barrage of just unhappiness. I mean, just firing the creatives and just replacing it with corporate people. It's just not how Disney really runs. It is a corporate behemoth. It is a money-making machine, but it's still operated and fueled by imagination and creatives. And Bob Iger understood that. Chapek did not. And Game of Thrones, he got him out of there. It happened quicker than I thought. I thought it would take another year to let him continue forward. But hey, quick vote, biggity bam, got him out of there. Let us know what you think about the shakeup at the House of Mouse. Are you happy to hear that Chapek is out? Big Daddy Iger is back in. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to have to go through this whole thing and read it later on tonight. And maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more on, check us out on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. And we'll talk about it some more there as well. So send your comments on all that. So let's move on to more in entertainment news. Okay, so guys, starting off with something just incredible. Like it's been a crazy week leading into the holidays. It's been wild. So reports are now in that actor Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth, is taking. He's not quitting, but he's taking some time off because he's just learned medically that he is one of the people who is it. I'm going to see if I'm saying it correctly. Predisposed to Alzheimer's. And reflecting on that, I mean, the man is thinking, you know what, I need to, take a step back and, spend more time with my family. If any, it's understandably that he would want to do this. The man is still very young. He's got his whole. He's establishing a great career in Hollywood. He's well loved. He seems to be a very liked and loved person, and I haven't heard a bad thing about him. And this is not a guarantee that he is going to have Alzheimer's, but you got the diagnosis on his other show that he's got the gene that this could be his fate. So he wants to spend as much loving time with his family as possible. And as a father myself, I understand it. If I got the same news, and if I was in his situation, I'd be the same way. Fortunately, in my situation, if I got the same news, unfortunately, being as broke as I am, you got to provide. You still got to. He's lucky that he's a person that is got the means where he can decide to let me take some time off and spend some time with his kids. So this. I forgot what the source was, but let's look into it a little bit about what more it had to say. So, Shooting Limitless, his TV series, I think that's also on Disney Plus, not only made Hemsworth discover his genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's, but it's also led to the actor's meeting with death duelist for the series finale episode and confronting the end of his life. Hemsworth said all of these experiences inspired him to take some time off from acting. He goes on to say, it really triggered something in me to want to take some time off. And since we finished the show, I've been completing the things I was really contracted to do. And that came in from Chris Hemsworth. Look, man, like I said before, like take as much time as you need. If you found out that this happened to you, and you have the means to take some time off and be with your family, go ahead and do it, man. You've definitely earned the right to do so. You put in some good work, and I do hope to see you again in the future. But yeah, take as much time as you need, man. It's not, it's family comes first. It's all about family. But guys, what do you think about the fact that Chris Hemsworth is taking some time off to, just obviously it makes sense for why he wants to do it. But does this prompt you to look into it yourself? Um, I know a lot of people are also screening for these same things. Like I said, it's not a guarantee that it will happen to you, but it's, hey, look, the science says what the science says. So he's going to do what a man in his position can do. And I would respect him for doing it, and I hope he enjoys his time with his family. And I look forward to seeing him again in the future. So let us know what you guys think about that, and we'll talk about it some more on an upcoming show, or maybe online. Check us out on Twitter and on Instagram for the rundown. Look, moving on to the main topic of this night. This is what prompted me to do a quick live show tonight. Let me talk a little bit about Jason David Frank. Jason David Frank. I heard this morning. I was out and about, and I think I was on my way to go see my kids, go pick them up. I didn't really introduce them to the Power Rangers. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I might get emotional on this. I never met the man, and I've always wanted to. Let me start off with my Green Ranger story. I was a huge fan of the Power Rangers. I'm a 42-year-old man about to cry about a man I've never met, but this is how much the Green Ranger meant to me. Was it middle school? Maybe was it middle school? I'm a fan of the Power Rangers, but when the story came to the Green Ranger, when the previews were upcoming, this whole 5-day saga, it's gonna be 5 episodes introducing this new Ranger. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy's cool. Let me tell you what my dumb butt did when I was a kid. I skipped school. I was what do they call it, a latchkey kid? You know, my mom went to work in the morning. My brother went to school, and I walked to school. Dropped my brother off to school, I guess, and then I was supposed to walk myself to school, but I didn't. I doubled back around. I came back home. I stayed home all day just so I wouldn't miss the episode when it come on. I could have watched it later. I could have, but I wanted to watch it in real time when it aired. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. And I did it for a week straight. I missed a week of school to watch The Green Ranger. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And it was one of the best weeks of my life. My mom to this day still does not know I did this. And ever since then, I've been a Green Ranger fan. Even when, as an adult, because I lost touch with all the Power Ranger stuff. But when I heard that he was back and that it was at the Dino Thunder episodes, I watched that whole thing, and it made me feel like a kid again. When I watched the movie, and I feel like that movie was underappreciated, his cameo with him in the Pink Ranger. There's a lot of drama that's going on with a lot of the Power Rangers. The one former Ranger that went to jail for what he did to his roommate. Jason, the Red Ranger, his financial issues, a lot of drama. The Yellow Ranger, what happened to her, man? Oh man, watch The Crow, dude. That her performance, man. I feel like she was gonna be a megastar. A lot of tragedy with these actors, and to hear how he passed was hard for me. And let me see if I can pull up a little bit of what went down. So let me go to this graphic real quick, so I can stop being a little emotional on it. Let me go full screen. Jason David Frank is best known as Tommy Oliver for the original run of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers franchise, dating back to the kids series debut in 1993. I was 13. Starting out as the Green Ranger in season 1, Frank starred as one of the leads for 3 seasons, totaling 123 episodes, reprising his role as Tommy in several adaptations of the Power Rangers, including Wild Force, Turbo, Zeo, Dino Thunder, Megaforce, Ninja Steel, Hyperforce, and more. He's been a Red Ranger, a Black Ranger, and a Green Ranger. Jason David Frank is a fan favorite, a super mega fan favorite Power Ranger, which is why he's returned to the franchise time and time again. There was even a time where when he was asked about it was that fan made thing about like what an adult or an R-rated version of Power Rangers. He was real passionate about Power Rangers. He even got on live and he was like, "Look, man, I don't think that's a good idea." I was mad at him for that. I was like, "Come on, man, the Power Rangers need to grow up." But I respect his conviction. He loved that series, and I looked a little bit further into it. TMZ. They had their another story about how he was about to go through a divorce, and I'm not going to speculate that maybe the pressures of the anger. I'm a divorcee. I've been through a divorce. It's very rough, man. It's very emotional, but with all the pressures and all the things that's going on in the world, man, I wish that I'm glad that I had people to talk to. I'm glad that I had counseling. I'm glad that I had friends, loved ones that got me through. It's a very depressing and emotional thing, especially whatever mental state that you're in. It's only gonna add more weight and more pressure on it, man. And I'm not saying one thing is related to the other. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But all that out of the way, Jason David Frank, Mr. Green Ranger himself, man, his impact in my life was huge. As a creative person, as an artist, I draw a lot of things that I did. I can link a lot of the things that I've done creatively to a lot of the work that man put in as the Green Ranger. Just as the Green Ranger alone. I mean, people debate who's better, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger. I'm a Green Ranger, man. It's always been about the Green Ranger, his sacrifice that he put into that show, man. And then I think it was confirmed again in Dino Thunder when he had to go through a trial where he had to fight all of his other previous Rangers, and he said it himself. You know how powerful. The Green Ranger was saved for last. You know how powerful I'm the most powerful one. It's the Green Ranger all day, every day, man. I think even Tommy said that himself. I think I even saw him in an episode of Family Matters. Like, he played one of the thugs that was fighting against Bruce Lee. Steve. Hello, Bruce. Okay, Bruce. I think he was one of those thugs that Steve Urkel had to fight against. But coming all this way, watching the Green Ranger as a child, as a teenager, and looking up to that character, man, and appreciating what he put in, the work that he put in, and seeing how much it meant to him throughout his adult life, and how much he really put it out there for the fans. I'm sorry that he seemed to be a kind of a man that felt like this was his only way out from whatever pressures that he was going under. And I know people are going to talk and people are going to speculate on what it was about. Maybe his wife that he was divorcing, maybe she might make a statement. um, friends and family. So whatever he was battling and struggling with, um, it devastates me, man. I wish, and if anybody out there is going through the same thing or see anything similar, please seek help and talk with somebody before doing anything like this. Um, but Jason David Frank, I believe at the age of 49, uh, it's gonna be he's gonna be missed, dude. I did really get emotional about hearing about it, because he meant a lot to me as a child. He was one of my heroes, and I'm sad that it's ended like this for him. As Power Rangers, man, this is a sad story for a lot of them, man. So here's to the Green Ranger. I wish I could play the music, um, but I can't because it'll get demonetized. You people be wondering why you Chris, why you getting so emotional about this dude, man? I'm telling you, man, I skipped school to watch this dude. The Green Ranger meant something to me, and I'm sad that he's gone. He was one of the dudes that I've always wanted to meet. So, say what you want to say about Green Ranger. If you're not subscribed, you won't be able to comment. So if you got something to say it. Please hit the subscribe button and let me know what you guys think about Jason David Frank. Any fond episodes, any memories? For those who out there who have ever met him at conventions and stuff, man, I want to hear it all. I want to hear any story that you got. I want to hear it, and maybe we'll talk about it later on the show. Okay, let me move on to the last a bit of things that was happening with this week. We saw a few movies, and I wanted to go over those and talk about that and do a little bit of the review. So let's let's didn't do what I think it was going to do, but it's all right. Let's go over the reviews of the week. Starting with, sorry guys, I mean, I didn't know I was going to get that emotional about it, but you know, it is what it is. Starting with the first movie that me and Joyce saw this week was, last week actually, it was Wakanda Forever. I already did a non-spoiler review of it. I'm going to go into some spoilers a little bit on this one. I'm not going to go too long into it, but because we're almost out of time. But real quick, I'll just say that let me go one by one with these characters. M'Baku, man, that boy did his thing, man. I mean, it was just like what Thor: Love and Thunder should have been. He was he was the right amount of funny and the right amount of serious, like kind of like what they did with Ragnarok. I mean, it was serious when it needed to be. It was heavy, man. That movie started off with right off the bat with an off-screen death of Chadwick's character, man, and I felt like it was exactly that funeral scene. It didn't feel like a funeral scene for T'Challa. That was a funeral for Chadwick, and I'm obviously that's what they were going for, but this off-screen out of nowhere. Surprise, Chadwick's been sick and nobody knew about it, and boom, that's how they did T'Challa. And I was like, man, I didn't. It was sad and everything, but it was starting downhill from there, man. And when they were struggling on trying to recreate the herb and replace the Black Panther, Lupita Nyong'o's character, she should have been the one. I mean, the Queen offered it to her in the first movie when they thought that Chadwick was gone or T'Challa was gone in Black Panther 1. So why wouldn't it go to her? She is a warrior, and Shuri never wanted it. And the way they forced, and it's the only time I use that word, us to go. Like they forced Shuri's character to go through the same thing T'Challa went through. He had a struggling, like he had a real deep bond and a struggle with with the bond that he had with his father. And then boom, he lost his father to become the new Black Panther. And for Shuri, she lost her father too. And then at the beginning of the movie, she loses her brother. But then in the middle, you lose your mother. The death of Angela Bassett was so unnecessary, man. It was so unnecessary, and it made no sense to me. She already. It's like you had to give her not only a similar stakes that T'Challa went through with a son losing his father, but like she's a daughter that lost her father and brother and mother. Like back to back to back to back. It's like, oh, we're going to make her a greater Black Panther because she lost everybody. Angela Bassett could have been the Black Panther. And I think that would have made more sense than making Shuri the Black Panther because obviously she had a better fighting skill than she did. Angela Bassett, if I didn't say it before, I think I said it on this show before that, dude, her performance was confirmed that she should get an Oscar nod for that, for what she did in this movie. She acted her butt off on this one, man. Angela Bassett deserves that nomination. I'm not saying she deserves to win, but the nomination. Of course, Namor. God. Crushed it. Best thing about this, that emotion that he gave, that he was almost reminded me like of Killmonger, man. The way he was just brutal by any means necessary. He really lifted him. This was the problem with Shuri. There's no offense on the young lady who plays Shuri, but everybody was acting their ass off, man. Everybody, Peter Nwangu. Everybody. One of the best scenes that happened in this movie was between Angela Bassett and what's her name? The bald-headed demon. What's her name? Right here. The bald-headed demon. Goddamn, forgot her name from Walking Dead. Because that moment when Angela Bassett lost Shuri for a little bit, when Namor took Shuri, kidnapped her, and it was on her watch. And the Queen laid into her, man. You just lost my daughter. This is not the first time you felt. This is that Oscar-winning performance. I feel this is that Angela Bassett gave. This is not the first time you failed me. When Killmonger came in and nearly killed my son, and took the throne the way he did and wanted to do a genocide all over the world, you sided with Killmonger. And I saw that movie 1 billion times. I do not know why it took that moment to connect that anger. That made so much sense that Angela Bassett, that the Queen would have a lot of resentment towards her. She did what she felt like she was supposed to do for the king, for the throne, by taking Killmonger's side. Stand by, always the Noah Malaju stand by as the king, and he won the challenge. He was the king. But that betrayal to her family, man, she held on to that for some years, and she let it out in this movie. Hey, Nixon, what's going on? The disrespect, we're live. Hey, look, I didn't think I was going to go live today, but a lot of stuff happened. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and our favorite colonizer. I did not like that relationship. Them being a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, or a couple that smash made sense, but them being a married couple and stuff, I feel like all that was unnecessary. It just didn't fit in the movie at all. It just threw me off. This movie, and I said this before, I almost hated this movie while I was watching it. I was in the middle of hating it. And then in the end, because Kevin Feige, he softened up on his never recast stuff. when we saw that there was a new T'Challa out there, T'Challa Jr. Man, I felt this weight lifted. He did it. He technically recast. He recast without recasting. It was brilliant. I thought it was a smooth move that I did not see coming. And I liked it. I like it. One of the things I like about little T'Challa is that we can continue. He can be T'Challa. He won't be the original T'Challa, yes, but he is a T'Challa, and we can now at this age we could even probably get a story with the young love that he has with Aurora, with Storm. We could get a lot from this, and then leading up to him becoming a man. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm looking forward to. I'm hopeful that they'll do something with little T'Challa and the next Storm. Killmonger, with his return, it made sense where Shuri was at and why she saw Michael B. Jordan. That was real smooth, but I felt like if you're gonna kill her mother like the way you did, you should have at least put her in the damn vision, at least. Maybe both of them being there, like an angel and a devil on your shoulder, trying to tug at Shuri on how she wanted to handle Namor. Cool. God. That wasn't. How about Nixon says? How about that first mutant call out? The first mutant call out, I believe, was on Ms. Marvel. Do your research. And it's cool that that was the first mutant call out. I think in the movies, right? Yeah, I think that's true. And one last thing before I go on move on from this topic, the whole thing about Riri. I liked her performance on it, but I feel like they did the character disjustice by the way they introduced her in this movie. Because I feel like her series should have came out first. Because to the average MCU fan who only knows the movies and who does not read the comic books, a lot of people are not going to know that she is, from what I understand in the comic books, a huge Iron Man fan, and she's Iron Heart, and she designed her suit after Tony Stark. But none of that was in the movie. You just threw her in an Iron Man suit, no explanation to why. And I felt like the series could have did that. The series should have probably taken place before the events in Wakanda Forever, and the series probably should have came out before the movie came out to introduce why she designed that suit, all the things that she was going through before having to go up there into Wakanda. Because black girls in Hollywood gonna have it bad enough. Now you're gonna have, like, she's trying to steal Iron Man, she's trying to be Iron Man, man. You're gonna have people who don't know nothing about that comic book character thinking that she's trying to be the next Iron Man. And people made fun of the suit too. That was the first one. Iron Man's first suit looked like a piece of crap. He was coming out that damn cave. But this one, y'all like, man, you had the Wakanda technology, and that shit looked like Mega Man. I was like, dang, this girl ain't gonna get a bride. And I feel like the introduction was botched. And you're not giving her a fair shake, because the main question is, how is this girl gonna just have an Iron Man suit? She Ironheart, who cares? Like there was nothing really said about Iron Man about that. And it was obviously an Iron Man inspired kind of a suit. The damn thing even flew. But that's just how I felt about it. I felt like they kind of botched that. In Mayan history, Kukulkan. I said Kukulkan is wind and water, and Wakanda represents fire and earth. I like that. Okay, I didn't know that. Iron Fire was all set up for no reason. Who didn't do her research, sir? Yeah, you said it was the first time mutants was introduced. They mentioned mutants in Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel came out before this. I mean, but obviously you did all your research though. I didn't know about that the wind and water. There you go. If you like it, I love it. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. But I almost hated this movie until the possibilities with T'Challa Jr. Came into play, and I loved it after that. That anger kind of I kind of let go of it. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I kind of let go of that anger. Do I have the chat box open right here? Yeah, there you go. So I can see what you're saying right there in real time. Uh, but let me know what you guys thought about that movie. There's another movie that we saw over the weekend. I think you know what I think I'll save it. I was gonna talk about another movie, but I think I'll save it. I really want to talk about this with Joy. Um, so we'll talk about, and but we're running out of time. I'm already past the 30-minute mark on this, and I got to get to bed soon. So I'm not going to talk about it. But upcoming, maybe in this week, I know we have the holidays. Maybe Friday. Maybe we'll talk about it, or maybe when me and Joy find some time, we can sneak away. Maybe Tuesday. I'll try for Tuesday, and we're going to talk a little bit about Bullet Train because we caught that, we rented that. Oh my God, we had so much fun with that. And The Menu, we saw The Menu this week, so we'll do a spoiler talk about The Menu. Oh man, two really good movies that we really enjoyed. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about that. Let's see. You asked me, I didn't. I did it. You had me crying in this movie. Sorry, I'm playing. I didn't do nothing. I didn't make them do that funeral. They did that. They the one that rehashed out Chadwick's. That wasn't a T'Challa funeral. That was a Chadwick funeral, man. That whole. I mean, like I said, his off screen death and stuff. That was just a Chadwick. That was just 100% showing love to Chadwick. Like that silent Marvel Studios intro. That was all for Chadwick, and I understand that, but I feel like T'Challa deserved better. And throughout the movie, there was a lot of scenes that were happening with Shuri and other actors that I felt like, I'm not gonna say Chadwick because I know he's gone, but T'Challa should have been saying. I said this so many times during the movie. T'Challa should have been doing and saying these lines that Shuri is delivering. If T'Challa was recast and put back into this movie, he should be doing not all of it. There was a lot of things that was definite, like the kidnapping and stuff. I feel like that would have been a good little plot in there with Shuri and Namor. But there was a lot of dialogue and a lot of things that were done. I was like, this should have been T'Challa. This should have been T'Challa. And Tabitha said that's not fair. It is 100% fair because recasting is a fact of life. I mean, an actor dies, a production should not stop. The key grip can pass away. That the movie doesn't stop. A director can pass away. A movie that's been greenlit that still wants to be pushed forward does not stop. This is a family and a team effort. We put so much emphasis on actors because they're the face. They're what we see. But Ryan Coogler's and Kevin Feige's story should not have been altered over the passing of Chadwick. And Chadwick's brother said it so many times that he would not have wanted that either. But hopefully, and I feel like they're going to do some reverse engineering. We're going to get back on the original track, but probably at a slower pace once the new T'Challa grows up a little bit, and and maybe we'll get some of that backstory that we probably could have gotten from a young T'Challa, and then later on or maybe we'll get a little time jump, and maybe Kang will run some time through T'Challa Jr. and grow him up fast, like the way the Avengers did. In Endgame, let's run some time through him and grow that kid up because let's get this going, guys. But let me know what you guys think about that. Let me go through these real quick with Nixon with the Navigator before I go. What did I miss? You asked me. You had me crying in this movie. I haven't seen The Menu. I'm a softie if you haven't caught on. Angela definitely deserved the Oscar for this, 100%. Sorry, Taz, but I disagree this time. Like to say this, it is fair to say that about because the story, and this is something that has been said. The actor is supposed to serve the story. The story is not supposed to serve the actor. And if they had a plan, if they had a path, that's the path that they should have stayed on. That's just, but I've said it before. But overall, I liked the movie. I didn't love it, and like I said, throughout 90% of it, I was hating it. So maybe I did not like this movie, but I loved the journey that it took me on. I loved everything around what was happening with the Black Panther. That's the weird thing. This was a movie called Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I loved everything around the Black Panther that was happening more than I love what was happening with the Black Panther. Not saying that Shuri doesn't deserve to be the Black Panther. It was fine, but I felt like she was not ready, the actress, because everybody was acting circles around her. Okay, I'm done. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think Avatar: The Way of Water will be #1 in film domestically? Heck yeah, no doubt. Now let's get into what I said earlier about will it make more money than the originals? I always said more Avatar loyalists have passed on than are being born, and I stick by that. And with the pandemic and the loss of theaters, there's no way the numbers can reach that. But then again, the domestic numbers were not the numbers that made the first Avatar great. It was the numbers overseas. So I'm still predicting between 1 billion and 1.5. It's not going to make 2 billion. That's just me. That's just how I feel. Because I still go by the whole thing where after Avatar came out, people were dressed up as Na'vi for Halloween. The year after that, just Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker made more of an impact, a lasting impact than the Avatar movies did. Culturally, they impacted our wallets when we had to pay for that 3D or that when the movie was fresh. But a year later, people started caring less and less. And then when it took 10 years, 12 years for a sequel, that hurt it even more. That's just how I feel. I feel like too much time has gone by. Marvel did its thing, and now people have a cinematic universe mentality when it comes to these types of spectacle movies. But at the same time, never bet against James Cameron. He's been doubted before, Titanic and all that. So, yeah, maybe it might become the highest grossing movie of all time. I doubt it, but we will see. But thanks for asking, man. Before I was about to sign off, but I'm done. But I appreciate you guys for talking with me. Like I said, this is just a special rundown before the holidays started off. I wanted to just show my respect to the Green Ranger himself, and I shared my story. So if you didn't catch what I said live, you can go run back and watch what I said about the Green Ranger there, because it and pay your respects in the comments if you have a Green Ranger or Jason David Frank story that you want to share. Share it with me on TikTok or on Instagram or right here on the comments, and I'd like to hear about it. Or if you wasn't a fan of it, or if you want to talk about any other things that we talked about, let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll talk about that. This cat is just determined to be the star of this show. So, guys, until next time, guys, I appreciate you once again. Let me let me see what this cat's doing over here. Okay, are you done? You're gonna keep knocking stuff up? Okay, guys. Until next time, guys. Have a good one. Have a good rest of the week. Have a good holiday if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna celebrate Turkey Day. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself and your mental health at all time. Nixon says, "Kids thought my older brother was him growing up." Hell, I wanted to be him growing up. Until next time, guys, have a good one, and take care of your mental health, and stay safe out there. Have a good holiday, and I'll see you after. Maybe I'll see you again before Thanksgiving, so we might talk about those movies and but if not, I'll see you guys next week. All right, till next time, guys.